I just had my third ketamine infusion today, and I had quite the entourage. So my husband and my daughter came with me. You might be hearing something from her. She's like right there during this video. But basically, it was very similar to the first infusion experience, because I think they made it 45 minutes as opposed to 55 minutes. So I think that shortened time definitely made the experience much more intense. Also, I threw up at the end, and it was so weird because it ended up being incorporated into the I guess the visions I was having at the time, and I was imagining like throwing up like honeycombs or just like honey. I think it's because I took a sip of honey water, and I thought in my head that that might be why I'm nauseous and throwing up. I did that before the actual infusion. So the only difference I feel like with the third time is I didn't really have an intention, but I did go into the experience thinking, you know, what am I supposed to still learn from all these episodes, depressive episodes? Like, is there other things I'm supposed to learn that I'm not learning? Is that why I'm having them over and over again? Like, what's their purpose? So that's kind of what I kind of went into it thinking. And then during the experience, it was very intense in terms of like the like heaviness. It felt really heavy. Like it was like very dark, like dark red, dark blue. And I remember thinking, oh, I probably shouldn't watch so many of those like forensic TV shows if I'm like scared. But I wasn't scared. It was just like I'm the observer to a lot of things happening. And I kept thinking in my head, you know, what my therapist Irina was telling me, that just let these visions come, and they're like a movie that's made for me and meant for me to watch. So don't be scared, and just watch it and experience it. And so that was kind of the perspective and mentality that I had most of the time through this infusion. There were a couple of funny moments. Like one, I remember there was like something warped into like a baby seal, and then I thought, I really want a baby seal. My husband said he would get me a baby seal, but he never did, and I really want one now. Like, how cool is that? But it's all like still similar to what I said before, which is like that virtual reality lens where you're in like this 3D environment, and I'm just like the observer, and I don't feel like I could move or open my eyes. Like, I don't feel like that's possible, but I know it is possible because I've done it before. And the spatial location of my limbs, my head, it's all weird and all over the place. Like, I don't really think that they feel like where they are. Like, I'm disconnected from the actual location of these different parts of me. And then towards the end, that's actually when I got really nauseous. And that's the second funny part. It was a new doctor today, and he was nice. You know, he introduced myself at the beginning, but towards the end, when I was starting to feel nauseous, I was like, he is a potato, or like, he's Dr. Potato. I don't know why I thought that. And then there was a nurse that was trying to help me clean up, and she kept asking me like, are you okay, are you okay? And she's not my usual nurse. She's like a different nurse, and she spoke with a slight accent, which is similar to one of like the murder cases that I saw yesterday. So I kind of just put those together, which was a little bit weird. It wasn't scary, just kind of weird, but they're all very nice. Just, you know, they were concerned that I might choke. if I'm like, you know, when I'm vomiting, but it was fine. And then like once I was awake, I was definitely aware that I was awake. But before getting to that awake state, I kept thinking, am I awake now? Am I awake now? Like, should I be moving around now? Like, are people watching me now? Like, but then I wasn't awake at that time. So next time I'm going to remind myself that when I'm awake, I'm going to know, and I don't have to worry about it kind of like leading up to the moment that I actually wake up. I don't know if it's the ketamine or the purging process of throwing up today, but I definitely woke up feeling so much better, because I've been having a really tough several weeks of very down, depressive days. Also last week I had a flu, so physically I was also really drained and not feeling well. But when I got out of this session, I just felt so much better, and I did the passive suicide question in my mind, just like, you know, would I want to be around? And I definitely felt that, yeah, I want to see how this plays out, and I'm gonna be more patient with it. And that's definitely not how I felt even like going into the session an hour before. And the last thing that was really interesting at the end, you know, when I was throwing up, is there was like a really clear kind of message or voice in my head that was about how nothing happens randomly, and these are all things that are meant for me. Because at that time I was so uncomfortable and nauseous from just feeling like wanting to throw up, and I was like, why is this happening right now? Like, this sucks. And so I remember that was really clear to me. It's like, nothing is random. Like, this is, you're meant to be throwing up right now. This is what is for you. And I didn't throw up the last 2 times, so there may be some truth in that as well. And oh yeah, one more thing I forgot to include is the dark colors I mentioned before about this whole infusion experience. But there was also a lot of kind of like darker type of creatures. Like, remember there was like a serpent. I wasn't scared, but there were definitely not as like fun psychedelic colors. It was more like really dark. And then there was a point where I thought, oh, is this what death feels like or looks like? Because it just felt so like heavy, like physically heavy, and everything was being kind of mushed into one sort of color and scenery and shape. So yeah, there was no clear answer to that. No answer like, yes, this is what death feels like, or no, it's not. But it was just kind of something that popped up. And this is, I think, around the time I got nauseous, and now you know the whole story. Okay, thanks.